Steve, you described Draymond Green's play as a wrecking ball. Is there any other description that you can come up with for the way he's played in this series?
I thought wrecking ball was good.
Yeah.
I thought it described it well. Colorful. It was a metaphor. And I don't have any others, so I apologize.
Steve, Draymond, when he was told that you said you thought he was more in control and worrying more about playing than other stuff, he described himself being disgusted at watching the way he had been playing earlier and crying about calls. Have you, and that he was more aware, his mom talked to him, his fiance talked to him, he has little kids watching him at home. Were you aware that there was this kind of self-evaluation going on?
No, but I've definitely been aware of the improvement just in his focus. I mean, I think that's been really obvious over the last couple weeks. And I think it's important because, when he gets upset and emotional, it costs us. We lose our focus as a team. I mean, he's our leader. He's our emotional leader out there. So if he can play like he did last night in terms of, just moving on to the next play after something goes wrong, that's a huge boost to our team.
Why do you think you guys had so much success with this kind of trapping style on Lillard and really limited him?
Well, we've got really smart defenders. We've got a lot of length, and we got guys who just understand how to defend and cover up for one another. And it doesn't work every time. It's effective at times. They break through sometimes, but I think it's important for us to just try to put as much pressure on their backcourt as possible. Those guys are lethal, and we're just trying to contain them. And to this point, we've done a pretty good job. But we're aware they could break out at any time. So we've got to be even better tomorrow.
Coach, you must be proud of your team for the second half comebacks. But what can you do moving forward to try to get off to a little bit better start?
I think avoiding fouling is the biggest thing. I think they had 13 free throws in the first half yesterday. So the early foul trouble hurt us. And if we can avoid that and make them make shots from the field rather than the free throw line, I think we can get off to a better start.
Steve, your center position this year went through some changes based on injury, but it seemed like at any given point of the regular season, you sort of knew who your main guy or guy was or guys were. Are you back to mixing and matching a little more at this point? Well,
Looney is our main guy at that position, but we like to bring him off the bench just for rotation purposes and get to certain combinations. So, it's rare that he starts. But he's now become the guy who finishes, and so he's turned into a fantastic player, complements our group really well, and he's having a great postseason run. So he'll continue to get the most minutes of the center group, but I'm really pleased with the rest of the guys chipping in. Jordan Bell was terrific last night. We'll continue to have Draymond play some five at times. Bogut can come in and give us short burst minutes, and I think we've got a number of guys who we can count on, and that's a luxury.
Steve, Andre's injury, do you know when it happened or anything?
No.
Fonzo McKinney was a plus 24 last night. What have you thought about just what he's been able to bring?
It's been great. I mean, he had 9 rebounds last night, several key offensive boards at important junctures of the game. And that's something he's done well all year. I think what he's really improved at is his defensive awareness. He's always had the athletic tools to be a good defender, and I think he's learned more and more this year, angles and concepts, and he's seeing the pictures well. And I thought he was brilliant last night, especially after Andre went out when we were at risk, and he stepped in and did a great job. Probably hit the biggest shot of the game to break things open. But was fantastic defensively and on the glass too.
Yeah, if Andre does need to miss some time, how big will Alfonso be defensively for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to have more minutes from him, but we're confident that he can do the job.
What enables Draymond to facilitate so well? I mean, we know about the speed, but what has he picked up maybe a notch in this series?
I'm not sure he's picked anything up. I mean, he's been great throughout the playoffs. I think the biggest thing when Kevin is out, Draymond's going to have the ball in his hands more, so that's probably what you're seeing. He just has more responsibility on his shoulders. What I'm pleased with is he's keeping the turnovers pretty low. He's pushing the ball like crazy without turning it over. And that's the key, because if he can generate that kind of pace, but we can still get into our offense if nothing's there, we're still going to get good stuff. So as long as he's under control and pushing the pace, we're in a good position.
Coach, do you think this year is kind of like a set a tone for the comparison or the discussion of the backcourt?
Excuse me?
Do you think this year is kind of like already set a tone for all the discussion of the backcourt in this league?
Our backcourt?
Yeah, your backcourt and also their backcourt,
And
like during the
Portland's?
league. Yes.
Yeah, it's two of the best backcourts in the league for sure. Tremendous talent out on the floor all at one time, and they're all fun to watch. I have so much respect for CJ and Damian, and watch them a lot during the year. Enjoy watching what they do, and then watching our guys obviously is a pleasure. Coaching them every single night, and to see all these guys playing against each other is amazing.
Damian had a rough start to the game last night, but how do you kind of
Damian
yeah.
Jones, yeah.
Yes. But how do you get him kind of back to where he needs to be and get him some meaningful minutes in the rest of this playoff series? And moving forward?
He hasn't played much in a long time. I put a lot on his plate. We knew it was going to be short minutes, and we just wanted to get his athleticism and speed on the floor. And things are moving pretty quickly out there, especially when you haven't played in a while. And so he did fine. It was just the fouls. There are a couple cheap ones, but then he bit on the pump fake, and that was the one that sort of cost us a little bit. And then we went to Looney and JB, and they came in and did a great job. But Damian's just got to keep playing, and that was great experience for him last night. And he's got bright days ahead, but it felt like a good opportunity to offer him, and it didn't go great, but he'll learn from it.
What's the difference in scheming up to face this guard, centric offense in Portland compared to last series, which was guard centric, but I guess kind of Houston runs their offense differently?
Yeah, it's just a different team. That's the biggest thing is, with both Houston and Portland, it's a five-man defensive effort, like it is with most teams. But you just feel like you have to, when you go into these series, you have to look at it strategically. Like, how can we best make an impact in a positive direction for our team? What does that mean? What's the best way to approach this? And for every team, it's a little different. And so our defense against Portland is much different than it was against Houston. But that's how we kind of see the matchups and see the game playing out.
How much different would it like if you're facing a team that's either got a big kind of is the center of their offense or a forward? How much, I guess, different is your scheme have to tilt towards if it's not up top?
It's hard to answer that. I mean, it's every team is different. Every game plan is a little different based on personnel, based on combinations that you're facing. But you see patterns, and that's why we have our advanced scouts, and that's why we do so much work in the playoffs ahead of time, like every team, as opposed to the regular season when you're just kind of moving on from one game to the next. So you just have to try to get a feel for what the other team's best at doing and make that as difficult as possible, and then take your chances from there.
Steve, when you looked at the tape, did Myers Leonard just have a really good game, or did you guys make things a little too easy for him?
No, he played really well, and he hit some big shots. And this is the NBA. You got great players everywhere. Every team's got talented players, and so it's a matter of what are you willing to give up? What are you trying to accomplish? And you can't stop everything. So he hit some shots and made some big plays. Played really well for them.
Steve, what do you like about Wayne Cook and his personality and what he brings to the locker room?
I like Quinn's just his poise and professionalism. You know, it feels like he's a 10-year vet, even though he's only been around for a couple of years. I think it has something to do with having the full college experience at Duke and staying all 4 years. And he's just very mature, very wise. The guys love him. He works his tail off every day, and he makes the most of his opportunities when he gets them, and then never complains when he doesn't. So he's exactly the kind of guy you need off the bench.
Is he unusually popular for a guy on the bench? It seems like you said the guys love him. It seems like they really love him.
Yeah. It's important to have guys on your bench who are popular. Does that make sense?
Speaking from experience, you, right?
Yes, yeah. I think it's, I guess what I mean is, the guys on the bench have to understand their role. They have to embrace it and succeed in it, and support everybody else when they're not getting a chance. And when that happens with a guy like Quinn, the rest of the team sees that. And what's tough is when you've got bench players who are, upset that they're not playing, and that's the difficult part because everybody wants to play. So when you can find the professionalism and production of a guy like Quinn, it's a huge find.
Injuries aside, do you feel like you guys are relatively fresh right now, given that
Fresh,
given that you're at this stage of the postseason?
I don't know if fresh is the right word, but we're in a good position, and trying to make it through this series. And obviously with Andre's injury, we're further depleted. So we're not fresh, but we're fighting through everything, and we've put ourselves in a good spot.
What is the schedule for today for the players?
Just watching film and then an optional gym time, no practice.
And what's your Game of Thrones plan?
That's a good question because I want to watch Milwaukee and Toronto too. So good thing I have HBO Go.
You
I should do an endorsement.
You just did.
I just did, and I didn't get paid.
did you hear Draymond give James Laughlin a shout out last night in the presser?
I didn't hear the exact quote, but I heard he did. Yeah.
Is that kind of a cool moment for a guy who lesser down on the?
Oh yeah, we were giving James all kind of crap in there. It's great. But no, it's nice. It's nice. We got a lot of people who do a lot of work to help the team prepare for these games, and our video crew probably works harder than anybody. And James does a great job, and so it was fun to see Draymond give him a little love.